Hello, my name's Cathy Tindall and I work with horses with behaviour and health issues. I'm here today in a yard in Sussex to show you how you can make a difference by giving your horse a basic Shiatsu treatment from top to tail. So, what is Shiatsu? Shiatsu is a traditional bodywork therapy that uses the practitioner's body, weight and movement to create pressure and stretches on the receiver, which today will be the horse. Shiatsu practitioners use thumbs, palms and even elbows sometimes to create a unique effect, stimulating the meridians that course through the horse's body and our bodies in fact, much like the river runs through the countryside. So let's meet the horses. This is Billy. He's a 10-year-old thoroughbred cross-Irish draft to events. And this is Rosie. Hi, Rosie. We can see Shiatsu working on two levels. Firstly, on a physiological level, where we can see the result of pressure, stretching and percussion on the muscles, nerves and blood supply. And secondly, we can see how it addresses the balance of energy through the body, which is an oriental way of looking at life. Shiatsu is about the free movement of energy or chi throughout the body. This chi is in every living thing and can become interrupted or blocked by injury, tight muscles or ligaments, and even the restrictive nature of the boots, girth and saddle. Shiatsu can have an incredible healing and calming effect and may be used to relieve stress and tension, both physically and psychologically, helping the body to heal itself. Life-sustaining chi flows along and through energy lines known as meridians, which are the channels along which the Shiatsu practitioner works. In this basic treatment, we will focus on the bladder meridian, indicated here by the yellow tape on either side of the spine. Let's have a look at some conditions eased by Shiatsu. These include inability to relax, spookiness, anxiety and depression, irritability, aggression, muscular tension, headaches, digestive disturbances, hormonal imbalances and low resistance to infection. Shiatsu can also help with musculoskeletal problems. Some of the problems are sore backs, from which many horses suffer, sprains and strains, pole, neck and shoulder stiffness, joint pain. Whilst working with your horse, it is important to be aware of the effects that you are having. So let's look at some signs of relaxation and calm. Soft fluid eye, relaxed muscles and a lowered head, droopy bottom lip, resting hind leg, yawns and sighs, and total body stillness. And now let's look at some visual signs of anxiety and discomfort. Moving away from your hands, nipping and nudging, and excessive self-grooming. And there are other examples. Swishing of tail, stamping of foot, ears back, eyes becoming smaller, tightening nostrils, pursed lips, and tight mouth. We will now take you through a full basic treatment, ending with a step-by-step guide. This treatment in no way takes the place of the expertise of your vet, so if in doubt, call him out. Your horse's Shiatsu treatment can take place in the stable, in the yard, or wherever is peaceful. We begin with the body sweep by taking the flat of our hand over the entire surface area of the horse. We use the sweep to make both an energetic assessment as well as a physiological one. In other words, we use it to note changes of temperature, coat texture, muscle tone, and any tender areas. We can see here how fidgety Billy is and how unsure he is with what is going on. We will repeat the whole sweep to the other side. Moving from the body sweep onto the body rock. This gently stimulates the blood and energy flow and helps prepare the body for treatment. It also allows you to assess the mood of your horse and begin to concentrate your mind and energies. Here, Billy still shows sign of agitation and lack of concentration. Initially, if your horse moves away, stop, check your technique and that both the speed and pressure are right for your horse. Then start again. He will soon begin to realise that there is nothing to fear and will relax into the treatment. Easy. The body rock gently awakens, whereas the percussion really begins to stimulate the energy flow and the body's circulation. For me, I find that this percussion section really energizes my hands and fingers, preparing me for the more concentrated work on the bladder meridian. The percussion helps not only with energy flow, but also to relieve areas of tension, and you can begin to see its calming effects, with the horse becoming totally absorbed in the movement. There are three main types of percussion: fingertips, flat hand and fists, all having a spring-like action. When working with these percussive techniques, make sure that the movement does not end downwards onto the horse's body, as this will feel more like a slap and will hurt, rather than a pleasant sensation. Allow your wrists to move and the downward stroke will rebound. Do each movement 3 times on both sides. Now let's look at the next movement, the open roll. This is a lovely movement both to receive and perform. Therefore do as many as feels good for you and your horse. The open roll helps open and stretch the underlying area and connect the spine, ribs, shoulder and pelvic girdles together. Take a deep breath in before the movement and out as your arms roll. You may find that your horse slips into your breathing pattern, which indicates that he is listening to what is going on. At this stage, your horse should become more still. The bladder meridian is probably the one that is used most by equine acupuncturists and Shiatsu practitioners, as firstly it presents its total length easily to us, running either side of the spine, and secondly it has many points along its length that are related to other organs and their functions. Therefore, by working the bladder meridian, you can affect the whole body system, helping the body to heal and stabilize. As you have just seen, the bladder meridian lies approximately half the pastern circumference either side of the midline of the spine. Don't worry about the exact position, as the nature of meridians means that they are continually moving, although they will be in the general area. Trust yourself and let your hands dictate where you need to go. Linger longer in some places and move swiftly in others. If you are listening to your horse, you will know when to move. As the name suggests, palming means the use of the palms of your hands. Lean from your ankles and allow your body weight to move into your palms. Think about your breathing and breathe out when you lean forwards, in when you release pressure and move on. As you work with your horse, you'll begin to recognise signs of relaxation and enjoyment. Billy's yawn shows positive proof that he has now relaxed into the treatment and that things are moving. Changes within the body are taking place. You will now finger along the same line as you have just palmed. This finger pressure produces changes in the muscles, causing muscle shortening and lengthening and warming of the area, which in itself helps move the energy. You do not need to be heavy with the pressure to get incredible results. Experiment with different pressure and speed and find the best for your horse. For Billy, palm pressure was enough for his body to adjust itself. Look out for the jump as things begin to move. The movements that we can see in Billy are not always necessary to create an effective treatment, as energy can move in a more subtle manner. It all depends on the individual horse. Look, for example, at Rosie in the step-by-step guide at the end. Here we can see by Billy's body language that the treatment is going well. We have the soft eye, the still and relaxed body, and the droopy, trembling lip. If we listen to our horse's silent language, we cannot go too far wrong. Although most of the work is concentrated along the back, the bladder meridian runs through the entire length of the body, including the neck and the dock. As horses are often stiff and sore in the poll and along the length of their neck, begin the movement gently, abandoning, if necessary, until another day. I do find, however, that once they understand what you are doing, they quite like the rocking motion. By rocking the neck using your body to create the movement and stroking along the vertebrae, we can continue the energy stimulation from top to tail. Repeat this several times. There are many acupoints throughout the body, most being grouped around the joints. By stretching and mobilizing these joints, the Shiatsu giver can stimulate the local acupoints. This in turn will affect both the energy quality and movement throughout each meridian, helping to stabilize the whole system. It is important that the giver uses his or her own body to create the movement given to the horse, and here, with the leg rotation, care must be taken to protect the giver's back. Outside elbow is rested on outside knee. Similarly, to mobilize and stretch the shoulder joint, the horse's knee is placed against the giver's stomach or groin, and the movement comes from the giver. This will help to ensure that too great a stretch is not given. Coming to the back end now. Both the front and back feet should be rotated underneath the shoulder and pelvic girdle respectively. Take note of how easy the rotations are and if it feels stiffer in one direction than the other. Also note if your horse can balance evenly through all feet. This will help you identify the changes taking place. When asking your horse to stretch his back leg underneath him, only take the leg as far back as he will give it to you. He will offer more stretch when he feels safe and when he is capable of it. Do not try to force it into a long stretch, as you will find that you will activate the stretch reflex, which protects muscles from being overstretched. The horse will just snatch his leg back. The shoulders are often an area prone to stiffness, especially with the elderly or competition horse. These releases will also help those horses who are often on their forehand. So to be able to offer relief in this area will obviously hold great benefit. Again, remember to take note of your horse's body language and do not try to do too much too soon. If he moves away from your fingers, be more gentle, focus on another area, or why not stay with palming for the time being? He will eventually let you in and will enjoy the results. Repeat all this to the other side. Okay, just as a thing to repeat on the other side. Rubbing the gums is a well-known and effective team technique being used to calm the emotions. In Shiatsu, the gums are the meeting point of the governing and conception vessels, or meridians, and are regarded as the great balances. In Oriental medicine, the meeting of the governing vessel with the conception vessel is likened to the meeting of heaven and earth, the joining of the physical being with the spiritual being. It could be seen as the joining of the physical 21st century domesticated horse with his long-lost and wandering spirit. No matter what your beliefs, you will find incredible benefit through rubbing gums. There are many acupoints in the ear, and by working the ears, the Shiatsu giver can have an effect over the whole body, much like giving a reflexology treatment. In Oriental medicine, the base of the ear stimulates the triple heater meridian, which controls the body's internal and external temperatures. It also has an influence over the immune system. By working the individual sides of the flute of the ear, you can direct your work to the front of the horse by working the outer side, on the right as you look at the screen, and the back of the horse by the inner side of the flute, on the left as you look at the screen. The anti-stress point is at the tip of the ear, slightly more on the outer edge. Earwork can be used to calm a stressed horse, help with behavioural problems, boost the immune system, and generally make a horse feel good. It also feels great to the giver. We are near to the end of our treatment and have deliberately left the tail to last. When working on the tail, make sure that you are safe, and if at any time you feel unsure, stop what you are doing and reassess the situation. However, generally by now, if you have followed this step-by-step procedure on both sides of the horse, he will be looking a little like Billy, very chilled out. The tail is the continuation of the spine and houses both bladder meridian and the governing vessel. And just to recap, to stimulate the energy flow through the meridians, we need to stretch and mobilize the joints, using our bodies for momentum. Watch for my ankles moving. The dog is no exception. Again, this is an area I love to work, as it is here that I often see the most dramatic changes. The horse will often want more of a stretch and lean his body weight away from me, or demonstrate the change of feeling within his body by a big sigh or a whole face yawn. Once a pony I worked on yawned so much and in such great succession that he almost fell over. Working on the tail helps connect one end of the bladder meridian to the other, and can also help horses who clamp their tails, hold a lot of fear in their back ends, or as the Orientals see it, in the kidneys, and have head and neck stiffness. You can see here how Billy can feel every movement that is made on his tail, even in his mouth. Watch for the twitch of skin by the withers on the tail pull. To end the session, we are going to finish as we started by sweeping over the whole of the body with the flat of the hand, noting any changes from the initial sweep. Not only does this connect all the points and meridians that were stimulated, but it feels good too. As you can see, a very different horse from the one that we saw earlier. I would suggest you walk your horse around the yard for a few minutes and then leave him to quietly stand and munch in his stable for at least a couple of hours before you put him out. So just to recap, here is Billy before his treatment, being pushy, bargy and fidgety. And here he is after his basic treatment, still, calm and contented. Let's see how he got this way, step by step. Start by greeting your horse and by giving him a nice rub in between his eyes. Then, working from the poll down to the tail, start stroking your horse with the palms of your hand, feeling for any changes in temperature, hair texture, muscle tone, and if there are any bumps or bruises. To do the body rock, start on the near side of your horse and place both hands over the spine just above the withers. Then, working from your ankles and using your body movement, begin to rock your hands and the spine. If the horse doesn't like both hands doing the rocking, then you can change to keeping the left hand here still on the withers and moving the right hand towards the tail. Now we will work on the percussion. Using your hands in a light up and down movement, use your fingers, then the flat of your hand and then the fists to create an even banging along the spine, over the rump and all the way down the leg. Do remember to do both sides and do each technique 2 to 3 times each. To do the open roll, stand to the side of your horse, arms resting on its back, palms to the ground. Gently but firmly roll open your arms, brushing down the side of the shoulders and the haunches. Do this 2 to 3 times on either side. To gauge the distance of the bladder meridian away from the spine, take the distance around the circumference of the pastern, halve it, and that will be where your heel of your hand will lie. Place the left hand, your mother hand, on the withers, and the right hand will begin to move towards the tail. Now we have an idea of where the bladder meridian lies, we will use the weight of our body into our hand to palm along this imaginary line. Keep your left hand still and work with the right hand. We will now finger along the bladder meridian. Keep your weight evenly distributed between your 2 feet and gently lean from your ankles into your fingertips. You can vary the pressure, so try it harder and try it lighter. It does not have to be too deep to make it work. The bladder meridian runs through the neck as well, And to stimulate this, we will rock the neck from side to side by placing both our hands on top of the crest and using our body weight to rock it to and fro. Start gently and increase the pressure and rock as needed. With the leg rotations, start with your feet at a 45-degree angle to the back of your horse, with your feet spread hip distance apart. Lifting the foot up, hold the fetlock in your left hand and the hoof in your right. Keep that joint straight. Then create a circle with your ankles to the left, to the right, and then in a figure of 8. Keep breathing all the time. Then moving on to the shoulder stretch, place the knee on your stomach or in the groin area and just gently rock your weight backwards and forwards, moving the shoulder and the elbow joint backwards and forwards. Listen to your horse, listen to what it is telling you. Then working the back leg. Make sure your weight is balanced between your 2 feet and that you're supporting your back by the elbow resting on the knee. Circle left, circle right, and create a figure of 8. Work from your ankles, supporting the leg and moving the leg with your body weight. Then take the leg slightly under his belly and repeat. We are now going to ask him to stretch into the position he now has his leg by dropping our bottom towards the floor and stroking down the leg to encourage lengthening. Do not actively pull this into a stretch. Ending, balancing the leg on the toe. And repeat all on the other side. To start the shoulder release, use palm pressure and outline the front of the shoulder blade. Work from your ankles and lean your body weight into your hand. Then, with the outside edge of your little finger, again outline the shoulder blade, putting a little more pressure into them. Do not press too hard and don't try and dig into the shoulder. Just go where the horse will allow you. If it is a little uncomfortable, then go back to palming and then try the inside finger once more. To work the gums, use a moistened index finger and slip it between the top lip and the gums. Rub gently from side to side, being careful that your fingers are not taken into the teeth. The more you do this, the more the horse will actually enjoy it. Working the ears can take as long as you like and as long as feels good. Start by working the base and working your hand up towards the tips. Push the ear forwards and backwards and spend time at the tip working the anti-stress point. Then with your thumb and index finger, walk your fingers up to the top of the ear. Start working the tail by playing with the hair. Take the dock and move it from side to side out of the crease in which it lies. Then, making sure the horse is comfortable with your position, take the dock 2/3 and 1/3 away along in your hands and move from side to side. Again, use your body weight to make this movement and then gradually make a small circle with the end of the tail. Take this movement both to the right and to the left. Then we're going to move the joints gently and evenly between our two hands, up and down. Once we've done the up and down movement, we're gently going to move the dog side to side, stabilizing each vertebrae with the right hand. Notice Billy's resting foot. To end this treatment, we're going to hold the dog and gently lean our weight very slightly back, allowing the horse to lean slightly forward. There is now tension all along the spine. The horse is relaxing into the stretch, so when we come up, gently release. To conclude the treatment, do another body sweep, using the palms of your hands to connect the points that you've been working on, and to see if there are any differences or any changes since the beginning of the treatment. You should aim to work each side 3 to 4 times with each step. However, it is up to you and your horse to decide whether you alternate sides after each step or you work one side steps 1 to 12 and then the other. Horses are such wonderful creatures. They're so tolerant, they try their best to please us at all times, and it's really up to us now, their owners, their riders, to listen to their language and hear what they're actually saying. Already today we have seen some language, some silent language of theirs that's in the video. So from me to you, keep listening. From me to the horse, keep talking, and please be patient. Good boy, come on in.